All right, everybody, we're gonna dive into the basic air squat. So I got Elijah here. I'm gonna have him start with his feet about shoulder width apart. We're gonna put him in a really generic stance. Like, this is not the stance that everybody is going to be able to get into or that they even should be in, but it's usually where we start people to take a look and see how they move, and then we can kind of adjust as we go. So I want about shoulder width apart. You're gonna turn those toes about 10 degrees out or so. Again, super basic. I want you to think about screwing those feet into the ground. Good, that's kind of pushes those knees out, turns on the glutes, gets the arches involved. You're gonna put your arms out in front of you and then up overhead a little bit. I want you to sit your butt back. You're gonna press your knees out as you drop down. And you're gonna pause right about there where that hip crease is just below the knee. And then I want you to drive through those heels and stand. Good, one more time. Screw the feet in the ground, knees out, butt back, drop on down. Great, and back up. So we use those cues for a few reasons. One, I want his arches to lift. If I can get his arches to lift and his glutes to turn on, I can control his knee. So those two pieces, just screw those feet in the ground. Usually those two things happen, and it keeps people from driving into that valgus position, that knee going in, which is that's usually gonna make our knee angry, and if we end up pushing the knee at least over the foot, if not slightly outside, knees tend to stay a little happier. We also disperse the forces a little bit better between the quads and the glutes and the adductors and all the other things. So that's great. By getting him to reach his hands forward and even up, it's gonna help him stiffen his spine and his upper back. So when he drops down, he's not likely to get in that rounded kind of butt wink position. So from a basic standpoint where we start people, we want to teach them the right way to do things as simply as possible with these simple cues. And it works pretty well. To get back to this knee for a second, let's take a look at his right knee here. And when we think about the knee, about this having this kneecap, we got our 4 quad muscles, right? 4 equals quad. They come down, kind of go, the tendon kind of comes around that kneecap, and then it inserts down here on the tibial tuberosity. So I'm gonna have like all these different points. So here's that quad coming down, here's like the middle of his kneecap, and here's that tibial tuberosity. So what we actually want to see is nice straight lines. So vertical forces is efficient. Forces, if I'm trying to put pressure like down on the ground and I got a force that's coming this way, I have to put way more pressure at an angle than what it actually needs to produce the movement that I want. So if I produce vertical forces, I'm going to be way more efficient. So if he goes into this valgus position and tries to go into the ground, you can see that his force goes that way and then it comes back this way. And I want his force to go down and come straight back up. So if I take that knee and I even have him kind of keep that foot on the ground with a good base of support, now and kind of rotate that thing out a little bit, he's got a nice vertical force through that quad, through that patellar tendon, and then through that lower leg down into the ground. And all that's going to produce a force that's going to take him and the weight that he's using straight up. That's what we want to see. Efficient movement doesn't overload things. That's the cool part. So if you're dealing with like a little bit of knee funk or patellar tendonitis or like your kneecaps a little not tracking right, cool. Maybe it has a little bit more to do with your hip and your foot than it does your knee, or it's maybe not the squats that you're doing, it's how you squat as opposed to just doing squats. So let's put your knee in a more efficient position and take the stress off of it.